What's up, leaders? Scott Matthew here from NIXYOURLIMITS, and I am super excited to be back at it again with another training to help you catapult your career, succeed in school, and learn to be the leader that you can be. And so let's get into it. Today's subject is all about goals, okay? How to set those goals, how to keep those in mind so that you can actually get them done. Because that is what matters, and that is where so many people limit themselves and fall short. And so the first thing you think about goals, we automatically, a lot of the time, turn to New Year's resolutions, right? We think like, okay, everybody sets goals in January. And there's a pretty negative connotation to New Year's resolutions. Why? Because everybody sets them, but nobody does anything about it. Like nobody sees the results. Nobody accomplishes those. Maybe a week, maybe two, maybe a month, but the majority of society today, the majority of humans never get them done. And so why? Why, right? So I want to break that down because the goal itself, having a goal is a good thing. Having a purpose, having a direction to go to is a good thing. Think about like a road trip or really anything. Having something to look for, to aim towards, will always benefit you, because without it, you have no way to measure progress. Without it, you have no way to measure not just progress, but also purpose. Okay, so often we get lost because like in school, for example, we say, why am I doing this? It's because you've lost that end goal. Like, what does this help me do? And that is frustrating, right? We all feel that because that chemistry class or whatever, like we never saw a purpose for it. And so we question, why do I have to do this? But if you have that end goal, if you know where it's taking you, then you don't question that, at least as much, because you know where you're headed. You know where it's taking you. It's kind of like if you're trying to drive to Disneyland, right? Like you know why you have to get onto that highway or that side road, because you know it's bringing you closer to your goal. How do you know? Because you can see it. You can see on the map. Disneyland is here. You are here. Taking that road gets you closer. And so like that's why it's good to have goals, because in life, we like to feel purpose. We like to feel like we know where we're headed, know where we're going. And so that's important. Okay, it's important for us all to have that. But now, where does everybody fall short? Well, the reason that we fall short is because we lose sight of where we're going. We lose sight of it. We forget about the goal. Now, that's harder to think of how that's possible because, like, say you're trying to go to Disneyland, you don't really forget where you're headed while you're driving there, right? And, at least I hope you don't. I definitely don't. I'm like, man, I want to get there as soon as I can, right? And you go after it as fast as possible, as legal, I guess I should say, right? No speeding out there. But that's why you accomplish that goal every time. If you're trying to drive somewhere or go to the store or something like that, you have the goal in mind and you go there until you get there, and you don't stop until you get there. Maybe you stop for gas or for a treat, but you don't stop until you get there. Now, in real life, like with goals that we have in mind, at first we feel super motivated. We feel that like, I'm not stopping until I get there drive. But then that kind of, like what happens? Well, other things happen. Other things will happen where you have to do some other stuff in between. You got to go to class. You have to go work. You have to go home and do chores or whatever it is, right? Other stuff comes up. And so the trick, the secret hack, it's not really, but we can call it that. The trick to accomplishing any goal is to keeping it on your mind as much as possible. And the way you keep it on your mind is to experience it as much as possible. And you do that by using all of your senses, right? You've got your 5 senses. And so how can you use all of your senses for this goal as much as possible? And so there are a few different ways that you can do that to help yourself experience these goals so that you stay focused on them, so that you actually do them. Because that's what we're trying to do. What you focus on multiplies. You have to understand that. What you focus on multiplies. So if you are, think about those rough days. Like one time, you open your car door and your door gets dinged by a grocery cart or something like that, right? And then like, dang it, that sets you off. And then you go into the store and there's no carts left. And you're like, oh, my day just keeps getting worse. And then they don't have that candy bar that you want. Man, it just keeps getting worse. And you just continually will grow and grow and grow. Whereas at the same time, like if you focus on happier more positive things, you see more positive things. Okay, what you focus on multiplies. When you're focusing on your goal a lot, you that's all you think about. So you keep working towards it. Okay. And so what you focus on multiplies. So you have to experience your goals as much as possible. And so here's some ways how, right? So think about your senses. Okay, I want to touch. I want to touch my goal. Well, my goal is to, 20 years from now, I want to have a beach house in California or something like that, right? How do you touch that, Scott? Like, how am I supposed to touch that now? Well, the way you do that is by writing your goals. Okay, writing your goals down. And these are those big, far off goals. You think about those things that drive you. What is that ultimate lifestyle that you want? So that's the first thing I want you to do right now, is to take any kind of paper that's close to you, or type these out on your phone, but list out, like, what does an ultimate life look like for you? Now that could be different for everybody, right? It doesn't have to be a beach house. It doesn't have to be anything other than what you truly see it as. But what are those things? What optimally do you want your life to look like? Okay, and think about your classic nouns when you think about it. Who do you live with? Like, who do you spend your time with? Is that friends? Is that a family of your own? Is that just your family, like siblings and parents, that kind of thing? But who do you live with? Okay? And this is, again, think like 20, 30 years down the road. So who do you live with? Who do you spend your time with? Where do you live? Okay. And then what does your living situation look like? Like, what type of house, what type of home or apartment or ranch or anything like that, right? But what does it look like? Okay. How do you spend your time? Think about hobbies, think about passions, think about your work. How do you make money? What type of role do you fill? Okay. And think about what that looks like. How happy are you? What are some of the priorities and things that you do regularly? Okay. And just think about all of that and then write out goals that you have in mind. And that could be something specific, like I make X amount of dollars a year. I live in this specific place. I have this big of a house. I have this big of a family. Think of I've accomplished these particular things. Who knows what that is? Like, I've been elected mayor of my hometown. I don't know, but list out those accomplishments that you think would help you create an incredible lifestyle. Okay. And so you do that, you write it. And what you're doing is you're writing it so you feel that, but you also see it. Okay. So you see it as you write it, and then take a minute and literally do this. Okay. The next part, after you write these out, I want you to read them out loud. That's going to feel weird. That's going to feel like, why am I doing this, Scott? Like I'm in this empty room talking to myself. It's okay. But I promise you, saying the words is going to take it one step further to being real. It's going to be an incredible thing that happens. It can be really powerful by saying it, speaking it out loud, so that you are, again, feeling it, but then hearing it. It can make a big difference for you. And so read it out loud, see what happens. Okay, so let me backtrack. First, this is step one. You think about the ultimate lifestyle. Okay, what does that look like? Kind of get in that mindset. 2, write down those goals. Write down whatever comes to mind that has to happen, or that your optimal lifestyle will look like. Who do you spend your time with? What do you do with your time? Where do you live? How do you make money? Like all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so list that out and then say it. Okay, speak it. And then the next piece is to keep doing those 3 over and over and over again every single day. Because what you think about, you start to talk about. What you talk about, you start to do. And that's what we're trying to do, is to get the goal, this cloudy, this fluffy cloud in the sky of this ultimate goal that you have, and make it go from a cloud to a real action done by you. That's what we're trying to do, because that cloud is going to stay up there forever. You can have that hanging up there. You can have that dream board hanging up on the wall for as long as you'd like. Just having a goal, just having a dream board, just having a vision is not going to do anything for you. Action does. That is super important for you to understand. That just having a goal, that means nothing. It means nothing. Even writing down your goals, it means nothing. Saying it means nothing until you actually start doing something. And so that's what we got to do. So the first part of this is what I want to encourage you to do, to try, is to write your goals down every single day. Every single day. I know that's crazy. But I'm not telling you to do anything I haven't done and seen results from. So here's what I did. I got given one of these notebooks just randomly. Some guy came back from a conference, like it has like the conference embossed on here, and I don't even know what this conference is for. And he's just like, hey, I got this extra notebook, you want it? And I'm like, sure, cool, thanks, whatever. So I start writing in it, and I wrote my goals down every single day. And so look at this. Like first, I just kind of wrote down some main things. You can kind of see that. If you're just listening, I'm just holding this up. It says ambition is priceless. That's a thing one of my mentors says a lot. Ambition is priceless. You gotta have that ambition. I put down 10x everything. And that's part of like kind of that Nix Your Limits mindset of like, think about that optimal lifestyle. Now make it bigger, right? Like even bigger. Okay, play that what if game. What if it was even bigger? I put down a couple other things like have fun, communicate, appreciate. Those are big priorities for me and how I try to form relationships. And then just become limitless. That was actually the start of Nix Your Limits, was become limitless, like becoming limitless. But I switched it to Nix Your Limits because I feel like it was more actionable, I guess. But anyway, so then I wrote them down. Okay, I wrote them down. My 10x goals. Can't really see that because of the light. It's being weird. And then I wrote the date in the corner, and I started writing that list. And every single day, you can see I started on July 8th, 2016. And then I kept doing it every single day. July 9th, 10th, 11th. Here's the 13th, 14th, 15th. And then it just keeps going. Every day. A couple of days I can see like I didn't make it all the way through, but it's so important to try and get this done every single day. I can see the date jumps a couple of times that I might have missed a day or two, but I did this for a solid year. I did this for a year, guys. Every day I'm writing these goals down, and I can tell you that after, a couple of days, a couple of weeks, I had those things memorized. Then all of a sudden, it's all I thought about. It's what I thought about, and it's how I measured my decisions. It's how I measured that. It's like, this class that I'm taking or that I want to take, like, how does that play into my goals, my 10X goals? How does that play into that? And I could quickly make decisions because there's a Roy Disney quote that I love, right? Walt Disney's brother. He says, when you know what your priorities are, hard decisions become easy. And I totally saw that be true because when I knew what my priorities were, like, this is what I want my life to look like. Yeah, it's like 30 years ago or 30 years from now, but that's what I want my life to look like. That decision is easy. If I want to apply for that job, if I want to apply to that school for my grad program, even for my bachelor's degree, those hard decisions became easy. Yes, that is exactly what I want to do because I know it's going to bring me closer to that. It is moving in the right direction. I'm going to do it. And that works. It works. And so you just have to try it. Okay. Test it. Test me. Watch your own results. Start writing down your goals every single day. See what happens. I know it's going to take time. You need to pull out your phone, okay, and set an alarm for yourself. Maybe that's like at 9:30 at night, close to before you're going to go to bed. Maybe it's in the morning, and you have that alarm go off every single day at that time. And you have to make a deal with me, even if you're not home. Say you have, you're at a high school basketball game cheering on your team or whatever. Even if you're not at home, you see that alarm go off, and you at least think through the list. Give yourself 15 seconds and think through the list. The best case scenario is to sit down and write it. But even if you're out on the go or whatever, you think through that list for just a fraction of time. But that's going to help you draw closer to your goals. So it's going to help you think about it more. You're going to talk about it more. You're going to do it. You're going to put in the action. You're going to put in the work. Okay? So that's that first part of how to stay focused on goals. But now as you go, this is something that I want you to do. Again, you need to set another alarm for every 2 months, okay, 60 days. And what I want you to call that alarm is your Focus 5, okay, Focus 5. And I want to walk you through that process too. So you've already write down your 10X goals every single day. You've got an alarm set for that in your phone. Do that. I'm serious. Do it. You will see the results. Now, the next one is your Focus 5. So I know I have notebooks all over the place. So you can do it in the same notebook. I have this little one that I do this Focus 5 activity in, but here's what that one is, okay? So what you need to do is, again, you're going to list out some things, but there's 4 questions that you're going to answer every 2 months, okay? So when that alarm goes off, you sit down. This is one that it doesn't matter if you're on the go. You need to sit down and do this. Snooze the alarm if you have to so you can get home from whatever, but you need to write this one out, okay, every 2 months. Okay, the first thing is 5 things I am grateful for. Yeah, I know the life of being highly ambitious and being focused on your goals, so you start moving really fast. I mean, I say that success loves speed, right? But you have to stop every once in a while and say, you know what am I grateful for right now? And you need to identify 5 things. Okay, be as micro as you need. If you're having a rough patch, a rough day, you write down 5 things. It's not acceptable to write down less than that. Okay, 5 things that you're grateful for. Then the next part is 5 things you are proud of. Okay, what are 5 things that you're proud of? And again, I want you to put all 5 things that you are proud of. Okay. That next piece is 5 things you're excited about. Now we're starting to look forward. What are 5 things that you're excited about that's going to happen in the next 2 months? Okay. In this next period of the focus 5, what are you excited about? Okay. So you list those out. Like, man, I'm excited about this and that. The end of the semester is coming. Like maybe you're in that window. Maybe you have this test that you've been working on a lot, or a presentation. I don't know what it's going to be, a birthday, family member birthday, something. But what are 5 things you're excited about? Okay. Then the last one is 5 results that you will create in the next 30 to 60 days. What are 5 results that you're going to create? So maybe that's upping your grade, a specific from, a C to a B or something like that. Maybe that is finishing that big final project. Maybe that's something to do with work or with, your DECA program or other CTSO. Maybe that's something there. But what are 5 results that you are going to make happen? Maybe that's like rearranging your room or cleaning out your desk. I don't know what those are. You need to take that control to measure that for yourself and to put those 5 things, those 5 results that you're going to make happen over the next 2 months. So that's the other half. And if you do that, these 2 small notebooks that cost less than $10 combined, they will give you so many results if you start to experience your goals more, right? That's what we're talking about. How can you focus on your goals more so they can multiply, so that you can actually make them happen? And that it all comes down to that. Consistently trying to write that in. So 2 alarms on your phone. One that goes off every single day that you can just call NIXYOURLIMITS goals, whatever. Okay, review your goals. And then the second one will go off every 2 months. And that's focus 5. Go through these 2 exercises. I know I want you to go back, list out the exercises, what you need to do, and take action. Take action. I can talk all day till I'm blue in the face, and it's not going to matter for you or for me until one of us starts doing something about it. You got to take action. That's how it's going to make it happen for you. And you can clearly see now that's what separates people from actually accomplishing their goals to just setting a New Year's resolution just to forget about it a week later. If you write down your goals every single day, and you do not have to wait until January 1st to do this. Start today. I don't care what day it is. It could be April 5th. I don't care. Okay? You take action and you'll see the results. All right. I want to let you know that I am here for you. I've got your back. So please reach out to me. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I want to hear your results on this. I want to know how I can help. And so please send me a DM on Instagram at NIXYOURLIMITS, on Snapchat. Just be a part of my community. Participate. Let's find out what we can do to help. And we will make some results happen for you. All right. Get out there and nix your limits. We'll see you next time.